Okay, I am hoping that that fixed the sound. So if you can let me know in the chat if that fixed my sound. Yay! Excellent. This was supposed to be our first live chat with 0 issues. There always seems to be some sort of technical issue every time we do one of these, but that's how you know that it's live. So you know that this is not pre-recorded. This is completely live. And if I'm floundering, I am out here floundering. Great. I'm so glad you can all hear me now. So I'm gonna let people come back into the chat. Thank you all for your patience. So excited to have you here with us if you are here with us today. So now I get to repeat everything that I said at the top. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our October 9th live chat. This is something that we do so that we can connect with our families who trust OurPact for their device management. This is something that we started earlier this year, just again as a way to reach out to those families and to open a line of communication. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear about your successes, of course, but we also want to hear about your failures, and we want to hear from you what you think that we can be doing better. Because our pact is not just an app; it's an entire tool that you can add to your parenting toolbox, and we really do want to be partners with you in parenting in this digital age. Which is why we've started these live chats, and I am hoping that you all find them useful. I enjoy doing these, even though you get to see me with my technical issues. It's really fun to be out here being able to talk to you all. We have had a couple of people join us for multiple lives, which we love. We do these the last Wednesday of every month. Our schedule may be changing up in November and December for sure to allow for the holidays, but you can check us out on our Instagram or come back to our YouTube page to see the dates for those next live chats. We will be having a live chat in November and December. This is not something that's going away. This is not something we're putting on pause, and we want to see as many people as possible. So if you like what you see today, if you just like laughing at me, then feel free to tune in with us next month as well. So, all right, looks like we have a pretty good crowd going. I'm going to go ahead and get started. If any more audio issues pop up, please let me know. As a reminder, I will be answering questions for you. If you have any questions right now you want me to answer at the top, please pop them in the chat. If you have any questions after I get done talking about schedules and allowances, I'll be happy to answer those. But if you have any questions while I'm talking about schedules and allowances, our trusty, faithful Raul is in the chat to answer all of your questions. If you have interacted or written into our support team, it is very likely that you have talked to Raul. So we have him here in our chat to answer any questions as I go through schedules and allowances. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Yes, we've got quite a party going here. I'm very excited. All right. So I think a lot of people are familiar with what schedules and allowances are, but I just want to make sure that everyone knows exactly how our schedules work because there can always be confusion about things. So, just as a reminder, us doing these live chats embodies the values that we have as a company. We always put family first, and we want to emphasize safety and guidance. Right. So we're not about restriction. We're about guidance. We want to help families help their children to build better habits, not just to have restrictions so that when they're 18, they go all crazy, but to really build those healthy habits along the way so that they can take that success and take those habits into adulthood. And with that comes balance, right? Again, not restriction. There is a balance to screen time. It's impossible to live in this world now without having screen time, which is where the balance is important. And of course, through building these healthy skills, through communication, we do hope that that will create more trustworthiness and transparency in your family, just like we want to be trustworthy partners to you and be transparent with you as well. So, Getting into schedules and allowance, obviously, you can use these two things together to create the perfect balance of screen time for your kiddos. So, schedules are going to be those times when your kiddo cannot use their phone. All right. So, this is one point that is sometimes confusing. Is when you are setting up your schedules, these are times that you want the phone to be blocked, not to be allowed. So if you're setting up, let's say, a bedtime schedule, it would be from 8 p.m. until 6 a.m., let's say. And during those hours, your child's device will be blocked. Now, with that, with creating those schedules, then you can also add another layer on, which is screen time allowance. And that limits the actual amount of screen time your kiddo can have. So, I will get more into how these two features work together in tandem as well. So, first, let's get into looking at our schedules. Want your child to access their device. With a premium or premium plus subscription, you can create an unlimited amount of schedules to create the perfect overall schedule for your household. So this means that you can have weekday schedules, you can have weekend schedules, you can even have a schedule that only on Tuesdays. You can customize them any way you want by choosing which days they apply at as well as, there we go, which hours you want them to apply to. All of our default to recurring. So that means that once you've set that schedule, it's going to kick in forever until you turn it off. And you can easily toggle off the recurring option if you only want a schedule to happen once. So, with schedules comes app permissions, and this is where we get a lot of questions. So, if you've seen our live chat that we did about app rules, or if you've visited any of our support articles, or maybe just poked around on the app rules page, or yeah, on the app rules page yourself, it's likely that you've seen app permissions. So, what exactly are app permissions? It's one of the most common questions we get. So, app permissions allow you to exclude any app from being blocked by a schedule. So, for instance, let's say you have a schedule in place for homework. All right. So, all of your kiddos' apps may be blocked during this homework block, but they need to use, let's say, Chrome or Safari to look things up. You can choose to set an app permission to exclude Chrome or Safari from that certain schedule so that even though the device is blocked, they can still access Chrome or Safari. So let's look at how that works. So, when you're creating a schedule, you'll choose your time, you'll choose your day that you want the schedule to be applicable for, and then you'll see this pencil here. So the pencil is what's going to allow you to edit those app permissions. Once you tap on the pencil, then you'll see a list of all of the apps on your child's device that are going to be blocked. So, those will be all of the apps that you have set as blocked by schedule in your app roles list. Blocked by schedule is the default, unless you choose to make the app always allowed or always blocked. I know I'm throwing a lot of things at you right now. So, if you have any questions about app roles, please go. We have videos about app roles. You can also go to our support library, or you can always reach out to us at support@ourpact.com to get a little bit more clarification about that. But once you pull up this list, any of the apps that are checked are going to be blocked. So, any of the apps that you want to remain available during that schedule block, you will just uncheck them, and then once you save that schedule, you will see a list of all of the apps that have been excluded from that specific schedule listed below. And again, you can also control individual app permissions in the App Roles tab. So you'll go to your App Roles page, you can tap on individual apps, and you'll get an option for permissions or information. By choosing permissions, you'll see all of the schedules that that app is being blocked by, and you can choose in that list which schedules you want that app blocked by or not. I know I'm going quickly, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or I will be taking questions at the end and throwing a lot at you guys in this one. All right, so that is app permissions. Now, when you have screen time allowance enabled, this lets you set a limit of exactly how much screen time you want your kiddo to have in one day. So, one of the most common questions we get asked about allowance is whether or not you can set allowances for individual apps. At this time, that is not something we are able to do. However, it is something that we desperately want to be able to do for our families. We know that there is a need for that. We know that so many families would find that useful. And so I want to let you know it is something we think about constantly. It's something I go to bed dreaming about. And it is not on a back burner. It is very much in the forefront of our minds. We are doing the research right now to be able to bring that feature to you in the future. I don't have an ETA. I wish it were tomorrow, but I do know that it is something we will be able to bring you guys. But with screen time allowance, you can set an overall limit for how much screen time your kiddo has in a day. And so this you can set for each individual day. You'll go into your allowance page and you'll just tap on the day and select how much time for each individual day. And then you can also see here on your parent dashboard, you'll be able to see when allowance is enabled, whether or not your child is using their allowance time, right? So that will tell you that allowance is playing, and it'll show you how much allowance time they have left for the day. So when you have allowance enabled, your child won't be able to use any of their screen time during those scheduled blocks. So remove all of that time that's not applicable. So the allowance time only applies to all of the free time, the unscheduled time that your child has. So when your child's device is in a block state, whether that's a manual block or blocked by a schedule, they won't have access to their allowance timer. Kiddos do have to go into their OurPact Junior app on their own phone. This app is automatically side loaded onto your child's device when it's paired with the Connect application. Your kiddo will go into RPAC Junior and they will pause or play their allowance time when they want to use their device. So, when allowance is enabled, the device is in a block state always until your kiddo goes in and plays their allowance time. And then their device is in the granted state and they'll have access to all of their apps. So it's important that your kiddo remembers once they're done using their screen time to go back into RPAC Junior and tap pause on their allowance time. Otherwise, that time will deplete. The timer is not turned off automatically when the device is closed or when you lock the screen. It does have to be done in RPAC Junior. And this way, this encourages kiddos to really think about how they're using their screen time. What's the statistic? Maybe someone in the chat knows. How many times we pick up our phone every day? It's something astounding, something way more than we would even think. It's like over 100 times or something like that. Um, but for a kiddo to actually have to pick up their phone, go into RPAC Junior, play their allowance time, that is going to prevent so much mindless scrolling. I know I'm guilty of it. I'm sure most people are. And so to be able to really enforce to our kiddos, like, hey, think before you scroll. That's all we're asking them to do. Um, so that is how schedules and allowance work together. Does anyone have any questions? I always feel like I go through these things so quickly. So let me check out the chat here. Is there a way to put allowance on a particular app? Oh, excellent question. See, I told you that's one of our most asked questions. Fantastic. We had another question. Can we use Apple Screen Time with OurPact? Do we get the ability to manage individual apps since you can't do solely with OurPact as of now? Yes, many parents do choose to do that. So there can be some complications if you have contradicting rules between Apple Screen Time and OurPact. Um, But you absolutely can do that. Just know that if you do have contradicting rules between Apple Screen Time and RPAC, so this may be something like a schedule or even an app rule, RPAC will take precedence in that case. So if you have any questions about using Apple Screen Time in tandem with RPAC, please reach out to us. We'd love to help you do that. Support at rpac.com. Actually, a lot of parents whose kiddos do have Apple phones do use Apple Screen Time because it offers that detailed reporting feature that parents are looking for that we still don't offer yet. But again, it's something that we want to bring to you guys. So great. Excellent, Raul, on those questions in the chat. So I'm going to give a few more minutes to see if anyone else has any other questions. Again, I know that I go through these things so quickly. Sometimes I forget that, not everyone spends all day thinking about our tax the way that I do. So all right. If you did join us today, thank you so much. I hope that you'll come to another live. If anyone has any fun anecdotes that they want to drop into the chat, feel free to do so. I know that tomorrow is Halloween. So if any of you are celebrating, if any of you are going out or trick or treating with your kiddos, please have so much fun. Be safe. Maybe make it a device free time, you don't need to be looking at your phone if you're getting candy. um, for anyone from the Midwest, I lived in St. Louis for 7 years. This is my small anecdote, I guess. A really cool tradition that kiddos have in St. Louis is when they go trick-or-treating, they have to tell you a joke in order to get candy. So as an adult passing out candy, you end up hearing so many bad jokes, but every now and again some 7-year-old comes along with a real singer and you're like, I'm going to use that. So, uh, all right, we are going to stop there for today. Again, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this was informative for you. Again, if you do have any questions, support at rpac.com. You can email us. You can also check out our support library on our website, rpac.com, and click that support tab at the top. We have a library with over 200 articles to help answer all of your questions. And then again, we have our support team. You can check out our socials. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram. Obviously, we're here on YouTube and TikTok. Each platform has its own kind of vibe, has its own aura. So check us out everywhere. We also have a Reddit page now. So we are out there. We are out there for you specifically. Thank you again for coming. And we will see you in November for our next live chat. Have a great day, everyone.